Hello everyone, I warmly and enthusiastically welcome you back to my YouTube channel. Today I've brought you a truly very classic and iconic bourbon whiskey. I think I might not have even tasted this particular one before on the YouTube channel, which is quite surprising. Very quickly I'll share a few initial thoughts about bourbon in general, and then I'll talk a bit more extensively about Maker's Mark as well. One crucial thing I consider very important and fundamental is that everything that someone truly takes seriously is given a comprehensive framework. What exactly do I mean by this particular statement? The Scottish people, way back in the 1800s, meticulously defined what precisely is required for something to be officially called whiskey. The American Congress during the 1960s specifically defined, for example, that in order to properly label a bottle as bourbon, it absolutely must contain at least 51%. It must contain at least 51% corn, a significant and essential ingredient, and be aged for a minimum of 2 full years in new, carefully selected American white oak barrels. Furthermore, the inside of each barrel must be thoroughly charred. Essentially, this comprehensive framework precisely defines what can legitimately be called bourbon. By the way, Bourbon is also the name of a historic county in Kentucky, a place deeply connected to its rich heritage. The very name itself, Bourbon, is intrinsically linked to the historic town of Bourbon. It's important to note, of course, that whiskey produced not exclusively within the confines of Kentucky County can legitimately be designated as bourbon. Indeed, it is permissible to refer to it as bourbon across the entirety of the United States of America. Furthermore, a rather small, yet quite interesting and noteworthy fact to consider is that when examining both the production process and the overarching theme associated with Jack Daniel's, virtually almost every single component involved bears a striking and significant similarity as the way bourbon is made, and in fact it is also located in that region, but Jack Daniel's is not bourbon, so they don't call themselves bourbon, but anyway, maybe that's less interesting. What I really like is that every single bottle of Maker's Mark is hand-dipped in wax, and this makes each one completely unique in the way the Maker's Mark seal or this wax layer appears on it. I really truly like that there was a convenient little tab that I could easily tear all the way around the entire bottle, and from that precise point on, the beautiful bottle could be completely freed and then smoothly poured. I actually received this particular Maker's Mark glass as a thoughtful gift at one of the many delightful whiskey shows, because I specifically bought this kind of exceptional drink there. I genuinely think the glass itself is very beautiful and aesthetically pleasing too. So it was carefully dipped in wax in precisely the same distinctive way, and it received the same completely unique and truly exceptional treatment. I'm going to pour some now, and I'm carefully pouring this fine bourbon over a generous amount of ice, because I genuinely think it does it a great deal of good. It truly gives us a slightly lighter, more refreshing drink. I absolutely do not like to dilute Scotch whiskey at all, nor do I particularly like to drink it with ice or chilled in any way whatsoever. But I think that for bourbon, this actually works quite well. There's one more thing I want to show you. Take a look at how they write the word whiskey under bourbon. They spell it the same way as the Scots do. As you know, there are two ways to distinguish the spelling of whiskey. Sometimes there's an E before the Y. That's whiskey. And sometimes there isn't before the Y. Before it, that's whiskey. The Irish spell it with an E, while the Scots spell it with just a Y. It basically depends on where the master distiller originally trained, whether in Ireland or Scotland. This is more or less what determines how the word whiskey is written in places like Japan or America. So, based on this, it's very likely that the master distiller at Maker's Mark back in the day was trained in Scotland. Learned in Scotland. This is a truly authentic, exceptionally thoroughbred bourbon, in my honest opinion. I really truly like this unique artisanal process. The artisanal process means that basically it's like, I don't know, perhaps 10 dedicated hands are involved. So the entire small distillery, just 5 incredibly skilled people do absolutely everything, every single step of the intricate process, from carefully making the bourbon to meticulously handling the pristine water, ensuring its perfect quality. As I mentioned, each one is unique, and I also really like that, for example, Maker's Mark treats its fans with various little thoughtful gifts. I actually have my own sweater in my size, which I'll look better in next year. And then I'll put it on when I open another bottle of Maker's Mark to celebrate. For now, I didn't dare to because it's still a bit too... I'm pushing the limits, if I can put it that way. So what I also want to say about this is that this is a truly classic but very simple bourbon. And by simple bourbon, I mean, just to be clear, that in terms of value for money, we're talking about a drink that costs around 10 to 15,000 forints, or roughly 20 to 30 euros. So it's really something that it's a refreshing drink you can readily buy in almost any well-stocked supermarket, and you can certainly enjoy it provided you genuinely like bourbon. I truly think that's an especially important point. In its inviting aroma, it absolutely delivers those classic, unmistakable bourbon notes for me. There are indeed lots of vanilla rings, and it beautifully brings a kind of sweet honey cake flavor profile. Now, the ice has truly started to cool it down a bit, and this kind of significant chilling will also subtly mute the more pronounced flavors, but it certainly makes it a delightfully lighter and more refreshing drink. I honestly don't think that's necessarily a bad thing at all. It still tastes entirely and unmistakably like authentic bourbon. I have to admit, I personally prefer a fine Scotch whiskey much, much more. I hope. Because of this, not everyone will go crazy for it since tastes differ. This is a very good bourbon, and it could absolutely be a favorite in social settings. I can easily imagine younger people enjoying it with a mixer like I do with cola or with some other drink or even with soda or ice. It's a great drink for a good conversation and a cozy atmosphere. It's set at 40%, so really much more than this. So I can't really say much more about it, but one thing is for sure. If you have the chance, try some whiskey today as well, responsibly of course. If you can, follow my channel, like and share it, and then we'll meet next Wednesday with a long video and on Saturday with a short one. Thank you for being here. Have a great day and cheers.